Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of the Daily Aztec Debrief. I'm your host, Rami Alarian.
And I'm your co-host, Jalen Vega.
And you might have noticed that the Daily Aztec has just been getting better and better, basically. And that's probably in part because of this podcast.
I think so.
Thank you. And maybe our staff, but also I think it's partly because of our guest today. Jackie Bryant has just started teaching the DA class with her husband and our advisor, Jesse Marks. Bryant is a local legend in San Diego, a journalist and our first expert podcaster, the co-host of the San Diego magazine's Happy Half Hour, and she writes a pretty nifty Substack/newsletter, Cannabitch. She's on our show today!
Yay!
Yay!
How are you feeling?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Anything I missed in the intro?
Oh my God, so much, but that's okay.
My bad.
We don't. No. Just it's been a long road. Not any discredit to you. I think those are pretty much the highlights. We just started teaching the Daily Aztec class, as you mentioned, which is exciting because it's the first semester ever that this is happening. So it's experimental in a lot of ways. This class doesn't exist at all colleges with college newspapers. This college newspaper is 100% independent and student run. There's so many variables that go into it. Jesse is an administrator, so he can't technically teach the class. He's volunteering. So that's why I'm officially the instructor. So there's a lot of moving parts there, but I think it's going really well and it's exciting. So it's exciting. I never really thought I would teach. I've had a very traditional career as far as me talking to a bunch of journalism students is concerned, because I did not go to school for it. So I've had a completely different path than my husband has, who's taken a completely traditional route. So it's really cool to be backing up through that and then applying what I've learned and known from my unorthodox career to the classroom, because I have been out there. I've been a freelancer for over a decade. I've definitely, I've been a managing editor of a magazine. I've worked at websites, et cetera. So I've literally done everything you can't even imagine. I'm back editing a magazine again. And so I've been in the trenches in a lot of ways and seen a lot of perspectives that I think just if you've been in a specific newsroom or if you've been teaching in a classroom, you haven't gotten around. So I never really thought that would amount to anything. I kind of just thought I was throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. To be perfectly honest with you, my whole career, I was like, this is fun. I like this now, and I'm doing this now, and this is interesting. But I actually was building a knowledge base way more than I ever realized. So it's really fun to have that come out in the classroom and be able to I hope, don't want to give myself too credit, but to be able to transfer that.
This is your first time teaching. Does it feel natural at all?
Well, I taught last semester, actually.
Okay.
That was my first. I taught 418, which is a section of social media, community influencing, leadership. I don't know. It's like a string of words together. It's been a semester since I taught it. I think I'm getting it back next semester, as long as everyone sign up. Yeah. I will know the name by then, I promise.
Yeah. Sign up then.
No, we did. We had a great semester last semester. I was really excited to see that a number of my students from last semester ended up in the DA class this semester, and some of them, one of them had actually switched majors from PR to journalism in the process, and she said that was largely because of our work together and my vibes and my influence that I just zapped into her brain. I was like, come to our side. So that was actually literally one of the I've never been prouder. So I'm really excited about that. She's still, I think, on the fence, but I think we've got her.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah.
Right?
We're just converting all of.
Path.
No cult vibes, I promise. Wink, wink. And and so a couple of other students. So that was a really just great first experience. And so I was just kind of pumped and ready to rock coming into this one. Jesse had thought up the class because they just wanted to, the JMS department and Jesse, my husband, the student media advisor, they just wanted to formalize the DA process. And that's also part of why they ended up hiring Jesse. And he works here now. This job never existed before last year. And I think over COVID, the DA was hitting pretty hard before COVID, to be perfectly honest. Bella Ross, who's a professor here, she was the last EIC before COVID, and she was known for kicking out investigative work at the DA. I mean, they were doing really great stuff, and to be honest, and not to denigrate, any one administration, but doing anything during COVID is hard. And running a print newspaper into college campus, especially if you don't even live here, you're doing it from elsewhere. It just things, everything got a little less engaged, I think is the best way to say it. And so we just wanted to formalize the process. The school wanted to formalize the process and honestly give the students more support so that this could become a really professional output once again, and bring readership back up and all of those things. And I think the way that they wanted to do it is bring in advisement. So that's Jesse's role, so that everything can still be independent, but they have, a friendly adult in the room with experience who they can say, hey, hi, is this going to get me sued? Or XYZ, right? Jesse doesn't edit. He doesn't do any line edits. We don't do it in the class either, because we just give conceptual edits and feedback, because we want, the DA to maintain 100% independence. And we obviously as journalists take that really, really seriously. So there's like a few lines to work out, but yeah, that's really why this all exists. And then the class was brought in to allow contributors to get credit for it, and also to be mentored in a professional environment with formal instruction. Because before this, it was just like, if you want to contribute, you can, and you can still do that, of course, but you don't get paid. And so this is a trade-off on that. It will at least give something back, and then it will also just professionalize the reporting and learning process of being at the DA, because ideally, you will learn something from me and Jesse. That is definitely the hope. So that's really why this is all happening, and it's been a blast so far, honestly.
Have you been seeing results? I feel like I know the answer to this, but
yes.
I want you to tell a little bit about the good that's been happening.
Oh yeah, there's been so much. It's kind of incredible. I mean, we're just past the middle of the semester. There have been several stories already published, and many of these students are publishing and reporting for public consumption for the very first time. Yeah. So there's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of just a lot of anxiety and deadline and oh my God, I'm not gonna do it, and just shuffling around and moving around. It really is like a living, breathing organism. It feels like a newsroom in there. I've worked in newsrooms before, so has Jesse. It feels like that in a vintage way. There's 25 people in there. I can't remember being in the room with 25 working reporters who have a place to publish ever in my career. Like, those days are so long gone. So it is actually really special what we have going on here. And we remind the students of that all the time, not to paint a difficult picture for the future, but just to remind them of like what they have here and to really take advantage of it. So I'm rambling a little bit. I do that, but all of which is to say, what was the original question? Where am I?
What the results look
like? The results. Oh my God, there's so many. I was just going way off track. So anyway, they're publishing. Obviously, you had Connor Larson, who had his story totally pop.
Had him on last week.
I know. It was the top of the site for weeks. And you know what? And like he said he didn't know why it popped. He knows why it popped, because he did a good job. And that's really all that it takes. And when you learn the basics of reporting and you learn how to do it in a very specific way, and it's not that it's templated, but you just sort of learn the guidelines so that you can apply the art to the science, right? Because there is a science to it, and you can learn that. Yeah. But there is an artistry to it too. And so we're hoping to kind of braid that together for students. And honestly, within even all of their first stories, like, not to be whatever, but everybody's getting excellent grades. And it's not because we're grading easy. It's because they literally are all just doing a good job. Mm-hmm. They're following the instructions that we lay out. They're interpreting it in their own way. And they're producing really coherent, really complete work. Yeah. And guess what? When you do that, the algorithm will pick up on it, and it can pop, even if it's just quote unquote simple. It just has to be good and interesting and clear. That is it. That's the formula, and that's what we're teaching. And I don't know, it's snapping, it's locking in. And just to say something else, like, I know that there's obviously like so much discourse about like generational wars. I think like all of that is bullshit, to be perfectly honest with you, as a millennial. But I think I like don't even understand what half of it means. But I've been really inspired by working with this cohort of students. in my time at State, just because every Gen Z stereotype I have is completely bucked by all of the students that I'm working with. Like, okay, maybe not the Gen Z stare.
lazy.
That is extremely, extremely real. But like, I get it. You guys grew up on screens. Like, I get it. But everything else I'm sorry, I don't see it. Like, I see extremely motivated, extremely just like bright, quick, and very morally and ethically conscious students who are like trying to make sense of the world around them and like trying to make it better. And like, I don't know, I go on social media and they're like, Gen Z doesn't care about anything. And I just, I'm just not.
Zombies.
Yeah. So it's been, I'm turning 40 next month. It's just been very nice for me to go back and spend time with younger people. And remember where I was in my career and a lot of firsts that I have and sort of be able to like transfer that and help them achieve that too. It's just really exciting to be part of, truthfully. So this has been awesome. I know Jesse feels the same way, and we're really proud because they're doing good work. Several things have gotten published. I know that there's one story that Voice of San Diego thinks they want to republish right now. That was recently just published. I just graded the second batch of stories that are going to be coming through, and they're all excellent.
Yeah.
Like I felt kind of like I had to take a break from grading because I was like, am I just like a simp for my students? Like they're getting really good grades, and I'm like, am I just grading really easy? Like, do I suck at this? Like, maybe I'm just trying to be their friend. Like, maybe I'm not cut out for this, which is crazy. I'm an extremely critical person. Ask anybody who's worked with me or ever known me. Like, I have no problem dishing it out, and I just and he looked at it too, and we're just like, no. It's good. They are hitting all the markers, and it's just good work. So all of which is to say, like, it's going very well. When you teach a specific process and you teach the basics and you teach how to do this work, students will come alive. They'll latch onto it. And if I may, I'm sorry, I know I'm really rambling, but we are teaching graduate level work in this class. The type of work that you do, I think it's kind of hilarious that a journalism undergrad program is like you just being talked at and like taking quizzes about AP style. I know that it's more than that. And I know as you go on, they have you write and compose more things. Obviously, I teach other classes in this department. But it is a little surprising to me sometimes how little actual journalism work is being done in an undergrad program because of course, the students are capable of it. You just have to show them how to do it and give them an avenue to do it. I mean, it is the clearest thing in the world to me. So we are doing graduate level work. When you go to journalism school, not that I have, but my husband did. He went to Columbia, so we are totally ripping off his Columbia experience there. So you too can get a $50,000 education for a discount in the Daily Aztec class. Yeah, we are like fully ripping off the experience. Jesse has said this, where it's just highly applied. There's very little theory. It's all mechanical, and like we work with you, and it's just all workshopped along the way. And you are going out, you are reporting, and you are publishing for the public. Like you can get sued for this. Like this is very real. Like you are really doing it. You know, the news can pick it up, and I think that was a real inspiration for everybody to see. So, all of which is to say, like, we're leveling everybody up in this class. It's not like the boot camp like 310W is in the sense that you're producing something every single week, like a different piece every week, but you are working very intensely the entire time from one article to the other, and you're doing the work that a professional would do. Like I treat you like I would any of my colleagues who worked for me when I was an editor. And that means sometimes, you know, I kind of crash out and get mad about stuff, but we handle it mostly very maturely.
I have a question for that. You actually hit all of like the bullet points for my next question for you.
Sorry about that.
No, that was perfect. This is a perfect lead into the next question. You kind of talked about like you're constantly like making a story like one right after the other. Like, what does your deadline process kind of look like? Because I feel like the last big class we had, like I'm almost done with like the program with JMS, and I feel like it's not very writing extensive. Like I feel like I'm not well equipped. Like the last big writing class where I was constantly writing every single week was 310W.
Yeah.
And so what does that look like? Like market this class for people so they can like.
That's really interesting. Yeah. And I hear that a lot, and I'm not going to lie, I see it. I see it sometimes in the writing quality that I see, not in any specific students, but just kind of across the board. Sometimes this crop is really good, I have to say, and even just in the two stories that they've done, all of it's improved so much, but I have just noticed that there are certain basics that sometimes maybe it hasn't caught, and I don't know really what's missing or not before that, or what needs to come together for that. But I agree, like, writing is a muscle, and so regardless, you just have to write all the time. Like, oh my God, when I was managing editor of San Diego Magazine, I wasn't writing that much, and whenever I would pick up and start to write, I was like, man, I kind of suck again. Like, well, that's so crazy. I wrote a really long piece the other day, and it was just like, it almost felt just like vomiting, because I just hadn't done it in so
That's how I
long,
feel
and it
right
had to
now.
come out. And I'm not used to that. I'm used to grinding out bylines. So back to the class. We it's been changing throughout this semester, and thankfully our really amazing, wonderful students have been so patient and kind, and while we're adjusting, because like I said, it is like a newsroom. It is a living, breathing organisms, and deadlines shift. And so we are we had our own idea of the pace and how it would go, and it turns out that, like, they needed a little more breathing room, and also the DA staff, the editing staff, needed more breathing room to absorb all of these stories coming in at once, because that's obviously so much work.
Yeah.
So we're seeing how everyone feels at each step of the way. They do a pitch memo, and then they do a reporting memo in the middle of their reporting process, just sort of updating us on where they are and taking the temperature of the story, and then they turn in a draft, and then we move on to the next story. So through that process, we sort of check in and see how everyone's feeling, see if people are starting to ask for more time or not, and we kind of adjust and also talk to the editors, and we've been all working together, and I feel like it's actually been flowing really well for being a little open-ended. I know, obviously, in an academic environment, you want to know deadlines and plan for it, and I have finals this and that. So this has been a little loosey-goosey, but it has been going really well. And it actually really mimics the structure of a working newsroom. Both Jesse and I have been editors at publications, so we know how this works. And like I said, we treat you like our reporting staff. And that means that there are very high standards, and you're going to be held to them, but you have to, because this is going to get published. Like, next step DA editor, who can make minimal edits if they want to and literally just hit publish. You are expected to turn in something that you expect the whole world to read if it gets there. So, I think, again, if you take this class, you should be someone who really wants to work, who really wants to produce professional work, to enhance your portfolio, obviously, and I think it's a pretty good training ground for freelancing any type of media work, because you can also do multimedia in this class. It's not just writing. You can produce multimedia projects if you want, including video and social media. I think, but you got to come prepared to work. Like, the standards are very, very high. But again, if you just listen to us, you will meet them. Like, these students came in at truly every level of the reporting level, and they're all kind of hitting at the same spot right now. So it's just been really cool to see that evolve.
Do you see the class like expanding in enrollment numbers, or like do you want to keep it at a like
You ready to
specific
handle
number,
50?
more sections? What does like the next step for it look like?
We are figuring that out, because it is a lot of work for them. I don't know. We're working it out, because I don't know how much more we can absorb. And the thing is we can't have it be too big, because this all just flows right into the DA. So it would just supplant. It would add too much of a workload. So I think we actually might cap it and make it even smaller.
You're gonna have to fight for registration,
Which would be kind of tight. I'm not gonna lie. But. And it almost works better that way, because then we can spend more time with you, and it can be more of a lab or a workshop, which is really, what it should be. It should be like you're at work with your editor, and we're just talking about it and trading things, and maybe you're doing a little reporting. We have a lot of guests come into the class also. That's probably something I should add. So we've had Gustavo Solis from KBBS.
Yeah.
We've had Bella Ross from Voice of San Diego. We've
All the
had
best.
Maria Jose Duran, who is a professor here, but also an Emmy-winning Telemundo producer. We've had so many different people, and we're bringing PR people in to roast them. No, we have PR students in the class who I am constantly apologizing to.
Soon.
Yeah, no, I'm constantly apologizing. Like, I said up front, I was like, just don't take it personally the way I talk about PR people. Just know that it's all for love of the game, and we'll be really professional. But like, yeah, you're gonna hear some shit talking about PR people. It's just
Yikes.
kind of what this is, because we're doing news reporting. Like
Yeah.
this is it is confrontational sometimes. We talk about that in class too. So we prepare you for everything. We do the legal. We talk about libel and plagiarism and slander and defamation and all of these things, and we also talk about writing news with style and not sounding so freaking boring. And we cover everything in between all of that.
Have you been inputting a lot of your own kind of unique experience bouncing around so many San Diego publications?
Oh yeah. I mean, like putting my everything I know how to teach, because I am not an academic, is from my experience and what I've done
Real
in
work.
journalism. Yeah. And like I've said, I've had so many different jobs in media, and I've occupied so many different roles, and I've had, the pleasure of producing so many different mediums that I've just gotten to see a lot of sides of it. And I think paired with my husband's robust like investigative experience and newsroom experience, and the fact that he did go to Columbia J School and he has that formal network and that formal training as well, I think between the two of us, we actually are able to cover quite a lot, which is cool. We didn't plan that. It kind of just ended up, it was Temple, or Dr. Northup. Sorry. Like how am I supposed to say this? I don't know. I am so out of place in academia, but I don't understand any of it. It was interesting because Jesse, he realized when he couldn't teach the class because he's technically an administrator, and that goes against union rules. You're not allowed to cross those lines.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So would someone like Temple not be able to teach?
Correct.
Interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. So Jesse could have taught the class, but he would have volunteer. And we were like, no, you can do so much work for free if you want to in media. So you just have to learn how to say no and when to say no, because you're going to want to do it. You're like, but it sounds cool. And I could, maybe I could. No. So they were like, okay, we'll just give it to another adjunct. And then Temple, came back and said, what about Jackie? Would Jackie want to do it? And,
Amazing.
yeah, which is great that it, came from him. Otherwise, it would be very nepotastic. But so we were like, good. Really glad that you said it. And yeah, it's been a blast. So like I said, we're kind of like a little yin yang in our experience and our approaches and how we work and everything. But Jesse and I have worked together before. He edited me when I was a freelancer at Voice of San Diego, and we've worked together in a variety of environments in journalism as well. So yeah, it's just cool to be able to like take the sum of our experiences, which ended up being a lot, and yeah, being able to show everybody that. I think it's been useful. I can tell. It's weird. Like I don't want to take credit for it because it's their work at all. But I can see that they're listening to what we are teaching them, and they are listening from our experience and applying it to their own, and it's just working. So it's cool.
Both of you cover a pretty large ground. You're right. You have marketing and arts and culture experience.
I do.
And Jesse has some pretty deep diving investigative news experience. So I feel like any journalism student would want to pounce on this class.
I would hope so. I think we're having fun. Listen, I'm not going to reveal my sources. A few students have said it's their favorite class.
Oh, dun.
Someone once called me cool.
Okay.
And I
The gap
mentally
between
dined
Gen
out on
Zs.
that for like a week.
Stay
You are
with her
bridging the
now.
gap.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not.
Yup.
I don't want to listen. I didn't say it, but
Good.
no, I think we have a really good time. They're producing kick-ass work.
Yeah.
And there is truly nothing more fun in the world than doing really good work and pissing people off and getting all riled up about stories, and doing it in person in a newsroom. I'll say what I say to the class. There is no guarantee when you leave this college environment. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, that it's going to work out perfectly in your career. There's no guarantee for me at my age. My husband, we've both been laid off before. We've had crazy job changes. That is just the reality of working in media in this day and age. And we like to be very real about that, but we also want to be inspiring. And so I like to remind the students that it is so special that you have somewhere to produce work, and you have all of this equipment and these resources and these people who are just dedicated to helping you get that done. it may never happen again in your career, truthfully. Like I said, I'm never in a room with 25 other journalists producing work for Publish, and we have a place where we can do that.
It doesn't happen
and
anymore.
we can be free, and we don't have to be beholden to the investors who own the company or the weird CEO or the freak advertisers or anything. Like this used to be the norm in journalism. It is unfortunately rarefied, but you have it, and you have it here for 4 years. So like, I don't know. I feel like Adam Sandler and Billy Madison when he like grabs the kid and he's like, don't ever leave, like stay here forever. Like I kind of feel like that. This is really special. So take advantage of all of it, because this could launch something really big for you, and it could be one of the most memorable times in your career.
Wait,
honestly.
why am I so emo right now? You put that so beautifully.
Oh, thanks. It's true. It's special what you guys have here. So, I mean, that's why we like our jobs. So it's as simple as that. We're here for you guys. So
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, you're inspiring us.
Good.
We never get this
I feel
inspirational.
so driven.
Oh,
Well, I
good.
mean,
so ambitious.
maybe in the same vein as we wrap up, dish any advice that you've ever gotten or anything that you've
Oh, God.
overheard.
Your call to action.
Yeah, your call to
Oh
action.
boy.
Look directly at the camera.
Fake it till you make it.
It's beautiful.
That is 100% how I came up in journalism. I was a scrappy ass freelancer, like truly. Oh my God. I sent my first pitch before even knowing what a pitch was. Someone was like, "Oh, you got your pitch accepted." I go, "What the fuck is that?" So yeah, like I think just be open-minded and be nimble, because again, this is a weird but fruitful time to be in journalism. Like there's obviously a lot to cover and a lot that needs to get out there. So if you can find your space and people are listening to you and you have an avenue to get that out, take advantage of it, but be open-minded of the different ways that you could do that. In my own career, obviously, I started out as a writer, and I write because I am a writer. But I now do video work. I do social media work for brands. I do, different on-camera work. I'm a commentator. I'm a podcast host. I've done all this different stuff that, like, oh my God, if you had told me years ago, I probably would have laughed in your face. I'm teaching. Add that to the list, honestly. I didn't even think I would. Oh my God, forget that. I do not have a graduate degree. So, and they decided my professional experience was worth it.
Amazing.
Like we're waiving you. You're good enough. So I just be open-minded about the different ways that you can do this work, because that's how you stay in the game throughout the changes, and that's how you stay nimble. And it can be really rewarding as long as you're just willing to learn and humble yourself and not take yourself too seriously. Because at the end of the day, like, it's work, but you do this work because ideally it's soul work.
Yeah.
You're never really going to get paid that much. Let me just be honest with you. So you do have to love it. So, like, honor that by I guess just by being open-minded and taking advantage of all of the different opportunities that you have in front of you, because you'd be surprised a lot of people don't. A lot of people talk themselves into, that's not for me. I can't do that. I could never, blah, blah, blah. Or I wouldn't even want to. You'd be surprised.
Well, thank you so much for being on, Jackie.
Thanks for having me.
Beautiful.
Our most inspiring guest.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Add public speaker, inspirational speaker to
And
the
our first podcaster.
to the resume.
True. We'll next time you're on, we'll put motivational speaker in your
Yeah.
intro.
Oh my God, I love it. No one has ever made the mistake of calling me that before. So thank you. I'm gonna tell my mom that. She'll
Someone's
laugh.
registering for your class right now while listening.
They better be.
Yep.
I'll be after this. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Stick around for the headlines, everyone, and everyone thank Jackie. Bye-bye. And we're back. Thank you so much, Jackie, and let's get right into the headlines. For sports, former San Diego State baseball great and alum Stephen Strasburg is returning to state as a special assistant to the head coach. The aim is to restore Aztec baseball to the prideful program it once was. This place is near and dear to my heart, Strasburg said. Strasburg aims to assist the team in navigating the transfer portal and the ever-changing college baseball landscape. He also wants to work with the players as an extension of the coaching staff. All of the talent is right here in our backyard, Strasburg said. I want to do everything I can to rebuild that relationship with the community.
Fresno State and San Diego State fans have fueled one of California's fiercest rivalries for a while now. We talked about it last week in the battle for the old oil can. The Bulldogs and the Aztecs have been at it with this rivalry since 1923. It actually makes that 102 years old.
Oh my God.
Wow. The old oil can is beyond just a physical trophy. It is created to represent the distance between the universities. The can from Fresno was found on SDSU grounds during a construction project and was deemed the perfect representation of the long road trip needed to visit both universities. I actually didn't know that. That's quite interesting.
I didn't know that either, and I was really confused last week. Now in arts and culture, Zoe Zarling highlights the random geometric symbols that adorn the exterior of the Love Library. Love Library experts have no idea when they were built, but they weren't included during original production. The symbols aren't Aztec, Mayan, Egyptian, or Kumeyaay. Case remains unsolved.
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't know.
They have no idea. Like, every Love Library expert literally has no idea when these popped up. They just showed up one day. But looking for something to do this Halloween, contributor Vanessa Villegas suggests visiting a Frankenstein-themed bar. Only if you're 21, though, folks. Frankenstein's Mad Scientist Cocktail Lab opened for Halloween in downtown San Diego's and brings a eerie interactive drinking experience to the city's historic Gaslamp Quarter.
In Opinion, contributor Shaina Lemon talks about how she feels like during Welcome Week, SDSU Greek Life spotlights Pan-Hellenic and IFC chapters while leaving cultural fraternities and sororities on the sidelines. Historically, Black, Latinx, Asian, and multicultural fraternities and sororities are often left out of the campus buzz. They are tucked away behind the SDSU Love Library or walkways, but never beside the Pan-Hellenic and IFC Greek Life tables, said Lemon.
Contributor Layla Stovenoyek,
Awesome name.
I'm going to try that. That was good. Highlights the $2.3 million mansion President Adela de la Torre resides in and asks input from SDSU students on where to better allocate these funds. Students give 20 reasons, such as free trolley rides, lower costs of living, more safety training for student orgs, and even a lighter suggestion of something like free merchandise.
Now in the news, a neighborhood that houses hundreds of SDSU students faces safety concerns due to low visibility. Streetlight outages around SDSU have left Mary Lane, Dorothy Drive, Rockford Drive, and 63rd Street in darkness after sundown. According to the Associated Students Board of Directors, safety concerns have been raised. The city official offered partial solutions on an unclear timeline, according to the AS Vice President of External Relations, Abby McLaughlin. The highest concentration of students who live off campus live in these streets, McLaughlin said. Now, apart from the headlines, what are you going to be this Halloween, Jalen?
This Halloween, well, actually for my radio show tonight, me and Olivia, my special co-host for tonight, we are going to be something called the Demolition Lovers.
No clue what that is.
And that's okay. It's from an album cover. But for my actual... Beatles? No.
Oh, it's different?
It's a different album cover.
My bad.
For my other costume I want to wear on Halloween night, that is another album cover, which is the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's, and I'm going to be Paul McCartney. As you can tell, I'm a big music head. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What about you?
I'm not going to be anything from any album covers.
Oh,
Instead, I was Chowder.
You were Chowder.
From Chowder. And my Halloween costume is...
Is it going to be Chowder again?
Is yet to be figured out. Possibly Chowder.
Are you going to be Grr?
Maybe I'll be Paul from the Sgt. Pepper's album cover.
No, that
from the Beatles.
No, that one's taken.
From the Beatles album cover. Maybe I could do that.
What if you're Invader Zim and I'm Grr?
I'll think about it.
Do we look the same?
We look exactly the same. Everyone's been saying that in the comments of our stuff.
They say that you look like Invader Zim and I look like Grr?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you guys can, if you listen to this, we have an Instagram account now. So
yes, plug it. Shameless
please,
plug.
The Daily Aztec Debrief. You already know. So feel free to DM us any thoughts about any of our episodes.
But only if you like them.
No
criticism.
Yeah, exactly. No, don't ever criticize us. If you have any things that you want to talk to us about, if maybe you want to suggest a Halloween costume, maybe you want to be on this podcast, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to talk to more people, and this is just a great way to do it. As always, pre-recorded from the Lambton Hall basement, this has been the Daily Aztec Debrief. Thank you.